The Orion Nexus space station gleamed under the bright lights of countless stars. Ships of all shapes and sizes floated around it, docking and departing in a smooth dance of technology and energy. Travelers from every corner of the galaxy walked its halls, some hurried, some curious, and some simply resting between long journeys. Among these travelers was the Galactic Inn, a luxurious hub for those who wanted comfort, food, and a place to share stories. Its polished floors reflected the neon lights, and its grand entrance welcomed beings from planets far and wide. Inside the inn, Storym, a small elderly alien with soft green skin and large, sad eyes, shuffled nervously. His clothes were slightly worn, and he clutched a small bag that rattled every time he moved. He had traveled across 3 star systems just to reach this inn, hoping for a night of rest. But as he approached the reception desk, his excitement faded. The inn's manager, a tall, rigid alien with blue scales, looked at Storym with a mix of impatience and suspicion. "You still have not paid your accommodation fee, Storym," the manager said. His voice was sharp and echoed through the lobby. "You must settle your debt immediately, or you will be escorted out." Storym's hands trembled slightly as he opened his bag. I only have a few credits," he said softly. "I was hoping to maybe pay the rest tomorrow." Before the manager could respond, 2 alien guards appeared from the side hallway. They were enormous, with armored bodies that shimmered under the inn's lights. Their multiple eyes scanned the crowd, and their antennae twitched as they spoke. "Time's up, Storym," said one guard in a deep, metallic voice. "You will leave the inn now." Storym lowered his head, ashamed. He knew he had no way to pay the full bill. He shuffled backward, hoping no one would notice his failure. But someone was watching. Captain Alex Harper, a human in his mid-30s, stood near the entrance. He had short brown hair, sharp green eyes, and a calm but alert expression. Humans were rare in Orion Nexus, and many species underestimated them, but Alex had a reputation. Humans acted with courage, intelligence, and heart, even in situations that seemed impossible. He walked toward the commotion, his boots clicking softly on the polished floor. "Excuse me," he said, his voice firm, but kind. "I can take care of his bill." The guards froze. One of them turned toward him, antennae twitching. "Why would a human interfere in another species' problem?" the guard asked. Alex shrugged slightly. "Because some debts are bigger than money." The words made Storym look up, his eyes wide with surprise. No one had ever said something like that to him before. He hesitated, unsure if he could accept help without losing his pride. The inn's manager scowled. "Sir, this is highly irregular. You cannot simply pay someone else's debt. Rules are rules." Alex met his gaze calmly. "Sometimes rules need to bend for the right reason," he said. Then he stepped forward and placed a small, glowing credit chip on the counter. "This will cover his stay." There was a tense silence. The guards looked at the manager, and the manager looked at the credit chip. Finally, after a long pause, the manager nodded reluctantly. "Very well. The payment is accepted. But remember, this does not excuse breaking any future rules." Storym blinked. He had not expected this. He felt a strange warmth in his chest, a feeling he had not felt in years. Hope. I don't know what to say," he murmured. "You don't have to say anything," Alex replied. "Just let me help." The guards, still wary, escorted Storym to his room. Alex walked behind, ensuring that Storym reached the door safely. Other travelers watched in silence. Many were curious about why a human would help an alien he had never met. Some whispered quietly to each other, impressed by the human's courage. Once inside the room, Storym set his bag down carefully. The walls were simple but comfortable, and a small window showed the endless stars outside. He looked at Alex, a mixture of gratitude and embarrassment on his face. "You really didn't have to do this," Storym said. Alex smiled faintly. "I wanted to. It's not about having to. It's about choosing to do the right thing." Storym's eyes softened. He had traveled far and seen much of the galaxy, but humans were still a mystery to him. They were strong, yes, but their strength was not only in physical ability or technology. It was in something deeper, something that made them stand out, among all other species. You remind me of something I once studied, Zorban said quietly. Humans. I was a scientist many years ago, and I studied your kind. I found that humans were capable of courage and compassion in ways few other species could match. Alex raised an eyebrow. Really? That's interesting. What did you learn? Zorban smiled faintly. I learned that humans act even when the outcome is uncertain, even when others expect them to fail. You think not just about yourself, but about others. It is rare in the galaxy. Alex nodded thoughtfully. I guess we try. Sometimes it's the only way to survive. They sat in silence for a few moments, listening to the hum of the station outside. Zorban seemed to relax, his earlier worry fading. He had spent years alone, traveling, researching, and trying to make sense of the galaxy. Now, for the first time in a long while, he felt that someone cared about him. Not because of what he could offer, but simply because it was the right thing to do. Tell me, Alex asked gently, why did you travel all this way if you couldn't pay your bill? Zorban hesitated, then opened his bag slightly. Inside was a small, intricate device, part map, part star chart, glowing with faint energy. I have a map, he said slowly. It is old, very old. It may show the way to a lost human colony, one forgotten by time. Alex's eyes widened, slightly. Humans had spread far and wide across the stars, but some colonies were lost and few knew their exact locations. A lost human colony? He asked. Yes, Zorban whispered. I have searched for decades, hoping to find it. But time is short, and many seek this map for their own reasons. I feared that if I could not pay my stay, I would lose it, or, worse, fall into the wrong hands. Alex nodded, understanding immediately. Humans were not just brave. They were curious, determined, and willing to protect what was important. Don't worry, he said firmly. You're not alone now. Outside, the alien guard still lingered, keeping an eye on the inn's visitors. They did not understand why a human would risk time, effort, and resources to help an old alien, but Alex did not care. What mattered was ensuring that Zorban was safe, and that the map, something of great importance, was protected. As the night deepened, Orion Nexus continued its endless hum. Ships docked, travelers laughed, and neon lights flickered in the distance. But in the small room of the Galactic Inn, two unlikely companions sat together, forming a quiet bond that would shape the fate of many. One was a human, brave and selfless. The other, an elderly alien, tired but determined. Together they would face challenges the galaxy could not yet imagine, and somewhere deep in the station, whispers began. Other travelers spoke quietly of the human who had stepped forward, of the courage that had brought hope to someone who had almost been forgotten. Across Orion Nexus, a single truth became clear. Humans were not to be underestimated. For Alex Harper, it was just another day of helping others. But for Zorban, it was the beginning of a journey that could change everything, not just for himself but for the galaxy itself. Little did they know, danger was already approaching, and the story of the lost human colony was about to pull them into a web of intrigue, adventure, and discovery. The stars outside twinkled endlessly, as if watching, waiting, and perhaps smiling at the courage of a human willing to act when others would not. The stars outside the Galactic Inn shimmered softly, painting the room in a gentle glow. Zorban sat on the edge of his bed, staring at the strange device in his hands, the glowing map that might lead to the lost human colony. He could not believe a human had stepped forward to help him. Most species he knew would have ignored an old alien with debts, seeing it as a nuisance or weakness. But this human, Alex Harper, had done more than pay his bill. He had shown trust, courage, and something that Zorban had thought rare in the galaxy. compassion. "I don't know if I should accept this," Storym said quietly, his voice trembling slightly. "I am old, and I have failed to take care of my own responsibilities. You should not have wasted your credits on me." Alex smiled gently, leaning against the doorframe. "You're not wasting anything. Helping others is never a waste, and sometimes it's the right thing to do. That's enough reason." Storym looked at him, still unsure. Most species would see this as weakness. Why do humans act differently? Alex shrugged. "We have our flaws, sure, but we also try to do what is fair, what is right, even if it is hard, even if no one else cares." For a moment, Storym remained silent, studying the human. He remembered his years as a scientist, studying species across countless planets. Most were clever, some were cunning, but very few had the courage to act morally when there was nothing to gain. Humans were different. Their bravery was not only in battle or survival, it was in how they chose to treat others, even strangers, even when the universe seemed indifferent. Perhaps I should tell you why I owe this debt," Storym said slowly. "It is not just the bill. There is more at stake than you realize." Alex raised an eyebrow. "Go on." Storym carefully opened the map and placed it on the table. Its faint, blue light illuminated his wrinkled face. "This map shows the location of a lost human colony. It is very old, from a time long before most of the galaxy knew about human expansion. Many believe the colony was lost, destroyed, or forgotten, but I have spent decades researching, following clues, and hoping to find it. And now," he paused, sighing, "I fear there are others who will stop at nothing to get this map. I'm too old to run or fight. Without help, I may lose everything." Alex studied the map carefully, tracing the glowing lines with his finger. His mind raced. The lost colony could be monumental, not just a relic of history, but proof of human resilience, courage, and the pioneering spirit that had carried their kind across the stars. If the wrong beings obtained it, it could be misused, lost forever, or even exploited for power. "I understand," Alex said firmly. "We will protect it. Together." Storym looked at him with surprise. "Together?" "Yes," Alex replied. "You helped me understand something important tonight. You trusted me, even though you could not know me. Now I will trust you. We do this together, or not at all." The elderly alien nodded slowly. He felt something he had not felt in decades: hope. Perhaps after all these years, the galaxy had not forgotten him. Perhaps humans were not only survivors, but guardians of something larger than themselves. Just then, the door to the room slid open. The two alien guards who had escorted Storym earlier appeared. Their antennae twitched as they looked at Alex, suspicion clear in their many eyes. "Sir," one of them said, his voice low and mechanical, "while your payment has settled the debt for now, we are still responsible for maintaining order. You must understand that helping one guest does not excuse breaking other rules." Alex nodded. "I understand, but my actions today do not break any rules. I am ensuring the safety of a fellow traveler." "That is allowed, yes?" The guards exchanged glances. They were not sure how to respond. Humans were unpredictable, and this one had acted boldly, calmly, and without fear, a combination most species did not possess. Finally, one of the guards stepped back. "Very well, but we will be watching. If there is trouble, we will intervene." With that, they left, leaving the room quiet once more. Storym exhaled slowly. "I have not known peace in many years, but you have made it possible to hope again." Alex shrugged. "Hope is not just for the young. It is for anyone willing to keep moving forward, even when the odds seem impossible." As the night deepened, Storym shared more of his story. He told Alex about the clues he had found over the decades, the strange signals from distant planets, and the fragments of records left behind by the colony. Each story carried danger, mystery, and moments of wonder. Alex listened carefully, asking questions and offering insight. The human mind, trained in observation, strategy, and problem-solving, was quick to connect dots and see patterns that others might miss. "You're clever," Storym admitted after a while. "Most species would have dismissed some of these clues as nonsense, but humans see potential where others see nothing." Alex smiled faintly. "We like to try. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But we never stop trying." Storym felt a deep admiration for the human. Courage, intelligence, empathy, qualities that were rare across the stars, were embodied in this single individual. He realized that humans were more than just another species. They were beacons in a galaxy, full of uncertainty, fear, and self-interest. Suddenly, Zorbin's communicator beeped, breaking the quiet. He frowned as he activated it. A holographic message appeared, flickering slightly. The voice on the screen was cold, harsh, and unfamiliar. "Storym," the voice said. "You have the map. We know. Hand it over, or you will face consequences. You cannot survive." Zorbin's tentacles twitched nervously. "They know, but how?" Alex leaned forward, examining the communicator. "They've been tracking you. Whoever this is, they want the map. And judging by their tone, they won't ask politely." Zorbin's eyes widened. I cannot fight them. I am too old." Alex stood, determination in his gaze. "Then we don't fight, they do. We use our brains, strategy, and planning. Humans are good at thinking ahead, predicting moves. And you'll help me. Together, we'll stay one step ahead." Storym nodded, slowly. He felt safer with the human by his side, but also aware that danger was now very close. "I have learned much in my life," he said quietly. "But perhaps the galaxy has more to teach me. And you may be the best lesson yet." The night passed slowly as they planned their next steps. Alex studied the map, marking potential routes and safe systems, while Storym recounted stories of past travels and obstacles he had faced. Every now and then, the soft hum of the space station reminded them that life continued outside, unaware of the quiet preparations inside the small room. By the time the twin suns of Orion Nexus began to rise, casting golden light across the station, a plan had formed. They would leave the inn discreetly, avoiding attention. Their goal was a distant planet called EpicSciFiTales, rumored to hold the remnants of the lost human colony. But getting there would not be easy. Mercenaries, spies, and rival factions could be anywhere, waiting for a chance to seize the map. Storym looked at Alex, a mixture of fear and trust in his eyes. "Are you sure we can do this?" Alex smiled faintly. "I don't know, but we will try. That is all anyone can do." As they stepped out of the room, blending into the crowd of travelers and merchants, Storym felt a strange sense of hope. For the first time in decades, he was not alone. And for the first time, he realized that humans were capable of something truly remarkable, not just surviving in the galaxy, but acting with courage, compassion, and intelligence in a way that inspired others. Outside the inn, Orion Nexus continued to buzz with life. Ships launched into space, laughter and chatter filled the halls, and the neon lights danced across polished floors. But in one small corner, two travelers, one human, one elderly alien, were about to embark on a journey that could change the course of history. And somewhere in the shadows, those who sought the map watched carefully, unaware that the human before them was not like others. Courage, intelligence, and morality, these were not things that could be easily measured, controlled, or feared. But those qualities, embodied in Alex Harper, would prove to be more powerful than any weapon in the galaxy. Storym glanced at his companion. I am ready," he said quietly. Alex placed a hand on his shoulder. "Then let's go. Adventure waits and the stars will guide us." With that, the human and the alien stepped forward, leaving the safety of the inn behind, unaware of the challenges that lay ahead, but certain of one truth: when humans decide to act, the galaxy itself takes notice. The halls of the Galactic Inn were quiet in the early hours of Orion Nexus. Most travelers had retreated to their rooms or ships, lulled by the soft hum of the space station. But for Zorban and Alex, sleep was impossible. Danger was already near, and the mysterious message that had appeared on Zorban's communicator left a heavy weight in the air. Zorban moved nervously, adjusting the glowing map on the table. "They know we are here," he said softly. "I can feel it. The ones who want the map, they are close." Alex studied the map carefully, his sharp eyes catching details even Zorban had overlooked. "We need a plan. Running blindly will only make it easier for them to catch us." Zorban nodded. He had traveled across the galaxy for decades, and he knew the dangers of underestimating enemies. Yet, he also felt a strange sense of confidence with Alex by his side. Humans had a way of turning fear into action, thinking clearly when others would panic. Suddenly, the entrance doors of the inn slid open with a loud hiss. Two large figures stepped inside, their forms cloaked in shadows. The neon lights reflected off their armor, and the hum of their weapons made the air tense. Mercenaries. Alex's eyes narrowed. "Stay calm," he whispered. "Follow my lead, the four." Mercenaries moved through the lobby with precision, scanning every corner. Their mission was clear: find Zorban and the map, no matter what. They questioned inn staff, checked the guest lists, and used small tracking devices designed to detect energy signatures that Zorban's map emitted faintly. Zorban shrank back behind a pillar, his tentacles twitching with anxiety. "They are very skilled," he whispered. Alex placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "Yes, they are. But so are we, in our own way. Let's use our brains, not just strength." The two of them moved quietly along the side corridors, avoiding the lobby. Alex had a plan: create distractions, throw off the mercenaries, and find a way out without alerting anyone else. He was not a soldier, yet his human intuition and quick thinking were already guiding them. The first distraction came easily. Alex knocked over a small tray of glowing food containers in a nearby kitchen. They clattered loudly to the floor, spilling light and sparks across the hall. The mercenaries froze for a moment, their attention drawn to the noise. "Now!" Alex hissed. He grabbed Zorban's arm, pulling him into a side hallway that led to the maintenance tunnels. The tunnels were narrow and dimly lit, with walls covered in pipes and wires. The air smelled faintly of oil and metal, but they provided perfect cover. As they ran, Zorban whispered, I have not moved so fast in decades, my body, my age." Alex smiled, keeping pace. "Brains over body. You help me with the planning, I'll handle the speed part." Zorban managed a small laugh. For the first time in years, he felt a spark of excitement. Danger had arrived, yes, but so had hope, and with it, a human willing to act without hesitation. Twaint, tunnels twisted and turned, but Alex had studied the station's schematics during their hurried planning. They emerged near a lower docking bay, where small ships and cargo drones moved silently. A perfect place to escape. But the mercenaries were not far behind. One of them had spotted the flickering glow of the map through a crack in the maintenance corridor. They adjusted their path, moving faster, weapons ready. Alex whispered urgently, "We need to split up. I'll create another distraction. You head to the docking bay and find a ship. Keep moving." Zorban hesitated. "Alone?" "Yes," Alex replied firmly. "You're old, yes, but clever. You can outthink them better than I can outfight them. Trust yourself." Reluctantly, Zorban nodded and moved forward. Meanwhile, Alex found a small storage room and quickly jammed a magnetic pulse device onto the wall. When activated, it would emit a loud pulse, temporarily disabling nearby electronics and security sensors. He pressed the button. Instantly, alarms blared, lights flickered, and security doors slammed shut. The mercenaries paused, confused by the sudden disruption. Alex seized the moment, sprinting in the opposite direction to flank them. His heart pounded, but he remained calm. This was human adaptability in action, thinking under pressure, improvising, turning every obstacle into an advantage. Storym had reached the docking bay. A small shuttle sat idly, engines humming softly. He climbed aboard, his hands trembling, as he initiated the launch sequence. The craft shuddered as it lifted from the station, heading for open space. Storym glanced back toward the tunnels, expecting to see the mercenaries, but Alex's distraction had given him enough time. In the docking bay, Alex confronted the mercenaries directly. He was not as large or strong as they were, but he was faster, smarter, and more determined. Using a combination of quick movements, clever feints, and his knowledge of the environment, he dodged their attacks, leading them into hallways where they stumbled over crates and cables. One mercenary growled, "This human is more than we expected." Alex grinned slightly, thinking, "Never underestimate humans." Minutes later, the shuttle carrying Storym disappeared into the darkness of space. Alex knew the mercenaries would regroup and continue the pursuit, but for now he had bought enough time. He sprinted toward another small shuttle, intending to follow Storym and ensure the map's safety. Once aboard, he initiated a course toward EpicSciFiTales, a distant planet that held secrets long forgotten. The engines roared, and the shuttle lifted into the stars, leaving Orion Nexus behind. As the station shrank into the distance, Storym finally allowed himself to breathe. I never thought I would escape this easily," he said, glancing at the human beside him. Alex smiled faintly. "Nothing is easy, Storym, but humans try anyway. That is what sets us apart. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is acting in spite of it." Storym nodded slowly, understanding. He realized that humans were more than survivors. They were guides, protectors, and moral beacons in a galaxy full of uncertainty. As they traveled through space, the two discussed their next steps. The map needed protection, the mercenaries would not give up, and EpicSciFiTales remained far away. But they were no longer alone. Together they had a chance. "The galaxy is dangerous," Storym said quietly. "I have seen greed, cruelty, and deception in many forms, but you have shown me something I almost forgot: hope. That one being can act morally, bravely, and wisely, even when all others turn away." Alex nodded. "That's humans for you. We're not perfect, but we try to do the right thing. And when others join us, we become stronger." The shuttle hummed softly as it glided through the endless void, stars streaking past like silver rivers. Danger was still close, but so was opportunity. And as the two travelers moved toward EpicSciFiTales, they carried not just a map, but a lesson for the galaxy. Human courage and intelligence can face any challenge, and even the smallest act of bravery can change the course of history. Somewhere deep in the Orion Nexus, the mercenaries regrouped. Their eyes glowed with determination as they transmitted a message to unknown masters. "The human," he interfered. "The map escaped. We will not fail again." Unaware of the plotting shadows behind them, Alex and Storym prepared for the journey ahead. Every twist, turn, and danger they faced would test their wits, courage, and trust in each other. But if there was one thing Alex knew, it was this: humans did not back down when the odds seemed impossible. And as the stars stretched endlessly before them, the two travelers moved forward, an unlikely duo in a galaxy full of chaos, but guided by bravery, intelligence, and the quiet light of hope. The stars stretched endlessly ahead as Alex piloted the small shuttle through the vastness of Orion space. Storym sat beside him, watching the glowing map with a mixture of awe and concern. The galaxy outside was beautiful, but also full of unseen dangers. Every light in the distance could hide threats, every shadow could conceal an enemy. "We need to be careful," Storym said quietly, his green skin tinged with worry. "The mercenaries who followed us will not give up easily. They are cunning and they have resources I have never seen before." Alex nodded, adjusting the shuttle's trajectory through a narrow asteroid field. "We'll keep moving, keep changing course. We have the advantage of speed and knowledge of our route. And humans, we don't give up easily either." Storym glanced at him. "You have courage. and intelligence. I begin to understand why humans survive where others fail. It is not just physical strength. It is your mind, your heart, your willingness to act. Alex smiled faintly. We learn from every situation. Every challenge makes us smarter, stronger. That is what keeps us going. The shuttle's engines hummed as they navigated through dense asteroid belts, weaving between massive rocks that drifted silently through space. It was dangerous work, requiring precise control and quick thinking. Alex's hands moved swiftly across the controls, adjusting speed, angle, and trajectory in a seamless rhythm. Storym watched in awe. Humans were not only brave, they adapted, learned quickly, and used their environment in ways most species could not. Suddenly, the sensors beeped rapidly. "Incoming ship," Alex shouted. On the radar, multiple small craft were approaching, fast and armed. The mercenaries had tracked them again. "Prepare yourself," Alex said. "We're not running. We're outsmarting them." The first wave of ships approached, firing energy blasts. Alex maneuvered the shuttle sharply, letting some shots hit empty space while others bounced off asteroid surfaces. Storym held onto the seat, marveling at the humans' calm under pressure. Many beings would panic, but Alex acted like every challenge was just another puzzle to solve. "Follow my lead," Alex instructed. "I'll create decoys using the shuttle's holographic projectors. You focus on monitoring the radar and calculating escape routes." Storym nodded, quickly learning how to adjust the map's energy signals to send false coordinates. Together, they made it appear as if the shuttle was in multiple places at once. The mercenaries fired wildly, confused by the illusions. This is incredible," Storym whispered. "Humans can think so fast under pressure. I never imagined anyone could do this." Alex grinned slightly. "We're used to it. Sometimes you have to act before the danger catches you, and think before it reaches you." After a tense chase, the shuttle finally broke through the asteroid field and entered open space. The mercenaries gave up for the moment, retreating back into the shadows. Storym exhaled slowly, relief washing over him. "You are remarkable," he said sincerely. "I have traveled far and met many species, but humans, you are something else. Clever, brave, and willing to act when others would stand by. I am grateful that you are here." Alex shrugged modestly. "I just do what I can. But we're not safe yet. The map is still valuable, and there are others who will try to take it." Storym nodded. "Then we must continue. SCIFI-Prime is far, but it may hold the answers we seek." As they traveled, they encountered other species along the route. Traders, travelers, and scouts from distant planets. Many underestimated humans, thinking they were fragile or weak. Time and again, Alex proved them wrong. He negotiated with suspicious traders, outwitted alien patrols, and found hidden routes through dangerous sectors. Each challenge demonstrated human adaptability, intelligence, and courage. One evening, as they approached a dense nebula, Storym turned to Alex. "Tell me, why do humans risk so much for others? You helped me without expecting anything in return. Most beings would not do this." Alex leaned back in his seat, watching the stars shimmer through the shuttle's window. "Because it's right. Because if we can act to help someone, we should. And sometimes helping one being changes the course of many. You never know the difference one act of courage can make." Storym thought about that, his eyes softening. He had spent years studying the galaxy, observing selfishness, greed, and fear. But here, in this small shuttle, he saw a different way, one human, acting with heart, reason, and bravery, making a real difference. The nebula ahead was dangerous. Its swirling gases could interfere with navigation systems, engines, and even energy shields. Alex slowed the shuttle, carefully plotting a course through the shifting colors and currents. Storym assisted, adjusting the map's energy readings to avoid unstable regions. Together, they worked in perfect coordination. Halfway through the nebula, the shuttle shuddered violently as an unexpected energy surge hit them. Alarms blared, lights flickered, and the craft tilted dangerously. Alex gritted his teeth, focusing on the controls. "Stay calm," he instructed. "We'll make it through." Zorban held on tightly, his heart racing. I do not know if we can survive this." Alex's green eyes met his. "We will. Humans survive because we try, even when everything is against us. Focus on helping, not on fear." With skill and determination, Alex guided the shuttle through the turbulent nebula. Energy shields absorbed the worst of the blasts, while Zorban recalculated their path in real time. After what felt like hours, the shuttle emerged into calm space, the nebula behind them glowing like a distant storm. Zorban exhaled slowly, relief and admiration in his eyes. "You humans truly are remarkable. I can see why the galaxy should never underestimate you." Alex smiled. "We try our best, but the journey is not over. SCIFI-Prime is still ahead, and we must be ready for whatever awaits us." As they continued, Zorban shared more stories from his past, tales of ancient civilizations, lost technologies, and the humans he had studied long ago. Each story revealed the depth of his knowledge and the importance of the map they carried. Alex listened, intently asking questions, connecting ideas, and finding solutions. Together they were more than just travelers, they were partners, each complementing the other's strengths. Hours later, they approached the outer system of SCIFI-Prime. The planet glowed softly, blue and green against the darkness of space. But as they neared the planet, sensors detected multiple patrol ships. Rival factions and mercenaries had reached the system first, waiting to intercept anyone who came near. Alex narrowed his eyes. "Looks like we have company." Zorban's tentacles twitched nervously. I feared this. They are waiting for us. How can we get through?" Alex thought quickly. "We don't fight them head-on. We use strategy, stealth, and the element of surprise. Humans are good at finding solutions others cannot see." Together, they adjusted the shuttle's course, skimming asteroid belts, weaving through gravity fields, and using the planet's natural terrain to hide from sensors. It was a tense journey, requiring precision, calm nerves, and trust between the human and the alien. As they landed in a hidden canyon on SCIFI-Prime, Zorban looked at Alex with awe. You have brought us here safely. I cannot thank you enough." Alex shook his head. "We're not done yet. The map is still important, and there may be more challenges ahead. But we made it this far, and that is proof humans do not give up easily." Zorban nodded, finally smiling. "Yes, humans are indeed remarkable. I see now why your species survives, thrives, and inspires. Courage, intelligence, and morality. Altogether, it is rare in the galaxy." Alex placed a hand on his shoulder. "And it's even better when we work together. Now we rest and prepare. Tomorrow the real adventure begins." As the shuttle powered down and the canyon darkened under the light of SCIFI-Prime's twin moons, both travelers knew that danger was far from over. But for the first time in years, Zorban felt a sense of hope. And Alex. He simply smiled, ready for whatever challenges awaited. In the galaxy, humans were not just survivors. They were beacons of courage, intelligence, and moral action. And here, on a distant planet, that light would shine brighter than ever. SCIFI-Prime stretched below them, a planet of rolling green hills, deep blue oceans, and towering mountain ranges. From the shuttle, it looked peaceful, even welcoming. Yet both Alex and Zorban knew appearances could be deceiving. Mercenaries, rival factions, and curious observers might already be waiting somewhere, watching for any sign of intrusion. Alex set the shuttle down carefully in a hidden valley, one shielded by rocky cliffs and thick forests. "This is our best chance to land unnoticed," he said. "Once we're on the ground, we can plan the next move carefully. Patience is just as important as speed." Zorban nodded. I am grateful. Your courage and intelligence have brought us here safely." "I can hardly believe it." Alex smiled faintly. "We make our own luck." Humans survive because we act, think, and help others. That's what keeps us going, even when the odds are impossible. The valley was quiet, but Zorbin's senses were alert. I can feel eyes on us, he murmured. Not far, watching. They know the map is here. Alex nodded. Then we use it to our advantage. They expect fear or hesitation. We'll give them strategy instead. Together they moved toward the ruins marked on Zorbin's map. The terrain was uneven with jagged rocks and thick undergrowth. Zorbin led the way, careful not to damage the fragile markers on the map. Alex followed, scanning the skies and the forest with sensors from the shuttle. Hours passed as they navigated hidden paths, staying low and avoiding open areas. Zorbin shared more stories of the lost human colony, explaining how it had thrived for decades before mysterious events led to its disappearance. Ancient structures, energy grids, and archives might still remain, waiting for discovery. Finally, they reached a clearing. Before them stood remnants of a city, half buried by centuries of erosion and overgrowth. Tall towers leaned against each other like ancient guardians, and faint energy fields flickered across the ruins. The lost colony was real. Zorbin's tentacles trembled with excitement and reverence. It survived all this time. I never dared hope we would find it intact. Alex stepped forward carefully, scanning for traps or signs of recent activity. The map led us here, but now comes the hard part. We need to make sure we are the first to uncover it completely. Others will arrive soon. As they moved through the ruins, sensors detected movement. Small drones, silent and hovering, scanning the area. Mercenaries were near. Alex whispered, "We need to act quickly but smartly. Rushing will cost us the advantage." Using his understanding of alien technology, Alex disabled some of the drones temporarily, creating blind spots for their movement. Zorbin followed, using his knowledge of the ruins to locate entrances to underground chambers. "Here," Zorbin said, pointing to a massive doorway partially hidden by vines. "This leads to the archives. If it survives intact, the colony's history and technology may still be preserved here." Alex inspected the doorway. Energy barriers flickered, designed to deter intruders. Using a small device, he bypassed the barriers, carefully opening the door without triggering alarms. "Step lightly," he warned. "This is delicate work. One mistake could ruin centuries of history." Inside, the chamber was vast, filled with towering shelves of crystalline data containers, energy conduits, and faintly glowing consoles. The air smelled faintly of ozone and old electronics. Zorbin's eyes widened in wonder. I cannot believe it. The records, the knowledge. It survived." Alex moved to a console, scanning the system carefully. "This is incredible. Humans built this colony long ago, but even in ruin, your people's ingenuity shines. These systems are advanced, yet resilient. That's what humans do. They think, plan, and leave something lasting." Zorbin smiled, overwhelmed with emotion. "And now, we can preserve it, share it. The galaxy will know humans were here, and that they endured even when forgotten." Alex nodded. "We will. But first, we make sure it's safe. Others will come, those who want to exploit, steal, or destroy. We need to act wisely." They worked together, carefully cataloging the most important archives, securing key energy cores, and recording data. Alex used his human ingenuity to stabilize some systems that had begun to fail, while Zorbin guided him on the historical significance of each record. Hours passed. Outside, faint signals indicated that the mercenaries had arrived at the planet. But by then, Alex and Zorbin had anticipated their approach. Using the terrain, holographic decoys, and quick maneuvers, they ensured the intruders could not reach the main archives. Zorbin turned to Alex, eyes full of gratitude. "You, humans, are truly remarkable. Courage, intelligence, and morality, combined. You protect what is valuable not just for yourself, but for the good of others. I have studied humans for decades, but seeing it in action is extraordinary." Alex smiled faintly. That's what we do. We act when others hesitate. We think when others panic. And we protect what matters, even if no one notices. Zorban nodded slowly. I see now why humans thrive. Not because of strength or numbers, but because of character. Because one human can change the course of history. As the sun of EpicSciFiTales rose over the ruins, casting golden light across the crumbling towers, Zorban and Alex stood together. They had preserved the lost human colony, secured the map, and outwitted those who sought to steal it. But more than that, they had proven something deeper, that courage, intelligence, and moral action could overcome danger, deception, and greed. Alex looked at Zorban. The galaxy will learn about this someday, about what humans can do, about what one person can do when they act with heart and mind together. Zorban's tentacles curled in a rare expression of joy. I will make sure this story is shared, and I will tell them who helped me. You saved more than history. You saved hope itself. In the skies above, the mercenaries retreated, realizing they had been outsmarted. The planet was silent, once more except for the gentle hum of energy from the ancient systems. Alex and Zorban had succeeded, not through brute force but through courage, strategy, and moral strength. As they prepared to leave EpicSciFiTales, Zorban looked at Alex with admiration. I believed humans were clever, brave, but I never realized how deeply you could inspire trust, hope, and action across the galaxy. I'm honored to have you by my side. Alex shrugged, a modest smile on his face. We just do what we can. But sometimes, what we do is enough to change everything. The shuttle lifted from the hidden valley, gliding into the endless stars. EpicSciFiTales faded into the distance, but the impact of their actions would echo across the galaxy. The lost human colony had been preserved, its knowledge saved, and a lesson had been demonstrated to every species. Humans act with courage, intelligence, and morality, and their actions can shape the future of the stars. Zorban's voice broke the silence. I will never forget this journey, and I will never forget humans. You are truly remarkable. The galaxy is lucky to have you. Alex smiled, his eyes reflecting the glow of distant stars. We all have a choice. Some choose fear, some choose greed, but a few choose courage and wisdom. That is what makes the difference. That is what makes us human. The stars stretched before them, infinite and shining. And as the shuttle traveled into the unknown, carrying two unlikely companions, the galaxy witnessed a truth that would not be forgotten. Humans are capable of extraordinary courage, intelligence, and moral action, even in the most dangerous and uncertain places. And in that moment, amidst the endless void of space, Alex, Harper, and Zorban knew they had accomplished something far greater than survival. They had proven that hope, bravery, and wisdom could shine brighter than any weapon, outsmart any foe, and preserve the legacy of life across the stars. The galaxy was vast, full of challenges, and unpredictable. But with humans like Alex Harper, it had a chance for courage, for justice, and for the light of morality to guide it forward.